What's up guys, Tuki here, and this video is going up much later than it should have. My god, have the past few weeks just flown by because suddenly we are just a few short days away from NHL 17's release. And that brings me to this video. The series on NHL 16 with the Islanders and the Nations United series are coming to a close, and now we look forward, and the question is, who will we take control of in the new franchise mode on NHL 17? Well, when we picked the last series, I gave you guys a ton of options to decide what team we should use, from conference to choosing between contenders and teams that need a rebuild. But franchise mode on NHL 17 offers something a little bit different this year, and let's be honest here, I am fairly confident in saying that if we were to put it up to a vote, this option would have been chosen anyway, and that of course is relocation. It might not be the most original series to start NHL 17 with, because I'm sure a ton of fellow YouTubers on here will be running series with a similar plan, using relocation as, you know, their big draw as NHL 17 comes out. I've said NHL 17 a lot already, but hopefully I can make this series as interesting, unique, and as realistic as possible, and I want your help to do it. The first step is, of course, to pick the team and the destination. We'll work out the details on what I can do signing-wise, trade-wise, basically what I can and cannot do in that next series. We'll talk about that in the near future. So the question is now, what team and where are they going? And that, of course, is up to you. So here are the three teams that are facing relocation in our first series. And first up, we have the Arizona Coyotes. Despite a bright future ahead of them on the ice, it's the off-ice instability that lands them on this list. If chosen, all of the turmoil will finally lead to their relocation away from the desert, and unfortunately for their fans, they will have to watch the likes of Ekman Larson, Domi, Duclair, Chychrun, and others from afar, and that'd be pretty disappointing. The second option, the Carolina Hurricanes, another team with a bright future ahead of them, with the likes of Elias Lindholm, Noah Hannafin, and Alex Nedeljkovic in goal, but the attendance numbers were the worst in the NHL last year, despite icing a team that really wasn't too far out of the playoff structure. But where will they move? Who knows? But obviously, a Hartford return could be in the books, and, you know, breaking the fourth wall here, let's be obvious, let's be honest here. Obviously, if I don't move the if we don't pick the Hurricanes, or if we pick the Hurricanes and move them to Hartford, I will be one of many YouTubers to do the same. But if we don't do that, look on the bright side. You will have plenty of ways to see that happen one way or another. And moving on to the third option, and my god, this was difficult because there are a handful of potential candidates. Again, I wanted to keep this choice as realistic as possible. I didn't want to have like, or do we want to relocate Montreal or the New York Rangers? Like, no, that's not going to happen. But there are some really like fringe teams that you could see relocating. The first one was the New Jersey Devils, a decent team, but attendance issues continue to plague them despite their history. They've changed ownership within the last 4 years or so. So is it really that unlikely that they would, be sold again, let alone moved entirely? I'm not quite sure. Then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets, an interesting team to say the least, with a good mix of prospects and some terrible NHL contracts. They have poor attendance numbers as well, but they also have this crazy rights deal with Nationwide Insurance that could keep them in Columbus for well over another decade. Feel free to look that up. It's on Wikipedia. You can get the details there. It is pretty ridiculous. Another team in the running, the Ottawa Senators, not due to a lack of success or attendance. It all comes down to their arena, with the Canadian Tire Center being in the middle of nowhere. It's no secret that the team is trying to get a new arena, in downtown Ottawa, or at least closer than where it currently is. And there were two other teams that really I can properly rule out, those being the Florida Panthers and the New York Islanders. Now, with the Panthers looking to compete for titles for the next few years, attendance in Florida is sure to rise, as it has been. And, obviously it's much easier for fans to show up and support a competing team. So I just don't see, if we were to pick the Panthers, it would kind of be a Quebec Nordique situation where we very well could win the cup in the first year. And the other team, the New York Islanders, that's actually something we did in the most recent series. I wouldn't be opposed to using them again. They are in the same boat as the Panthers as far as an on-ice product goes, but it's the arena situation. It's an absolute tragedy. But with their history, would they actually move away from New York State entirely? I think it's doubtful. So the question is, who joins the Coyotes and the Hurricanes on this list? It is certainly a tough decision, but I'm going with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Looking at who is more likely to move, it's doubtful that the league would move a Canadian team, and the Devils at least have their history to fall back on. So there you have it. It is the Coyotes. It is the, man, I said that kind of weird. It's the Coyotes, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Those are your three options, but we still have another matter to attend to, and that is, where do they go? Now, this poll will feature every possible city that a team can relocate to, because remember, in-game, a city can decline to take the franchise. It's multiple choice, so pick whatever options you'd like to see, and then from there, we'll move wherever we can, based on what city has the most votes. Say Baltimore is number one, but they won't take us. We go down the list until we can actually move. Again, that list: Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Halifax, Hamilton, Hartford, Houston, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Las Vegas, another probably generic option, Milwaukee, New Orleans, Oklahoma City, Portland, Oregon, Quebec City, Salt Lake City, San Diego, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and of course Seattle, which I'm sure will be another popular choice. So there you have it, guys. This is the plan for my first franchise mode series of NHL 17, and needless to say, I cannot wait, and I hope you all feel the same way. Make sure to vote in those polls down in the description below. Again, this video is going up later than it should be, so you're not going to have too much time to vote. But again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you guys for voting, and I will see you guys in the next one.